Let's see.
What? Oh no! Flushable wipes! Trash it! Don't splash it!
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the January 25th, 2021 Orlando City Council meeting. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Burns today.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, before I pray, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to you and my fellow commissioners for your thoughts and support during the passing of my father, William F. Burns Jr., who we laid to rest this Saturday in Valley, Alabama. So your thoughts were really appreciated. May we bow our heads. Father, in the name of Jesus, we give you thanks for the city of Orlando, our mayor, our commissioners, as well as our United States and its government. We hold up before you the women and men who are in a position of authority and pray the Spirit of the Lord rest upon them. Lord, as we continue to heal as a nation and fight the COVID-19 pandemic, I ask that you give our leaders strength, wisdom, and guidance to faithfully and dutifully discharge the duties of the office in which we hold. We fearlessly, confidently, and boldly draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in good time for every need, appropriate and well-timed help, coming just when we in the city of Orlando and our nation needs it. Lord, I ask for your blessings upon this body as we deliberate and conduct the business of our great city. Lord, in closing, I ask that you allow civility, kindness, and grace to guide us in our interactions, discussions, and deportment. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll and make a determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray,
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz, Commissioner Stewart,
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan, Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Burns,
Here.
Mayor Dyer.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with all members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First order of business is consideration of minutes from the agenda review and city council meetings of January the 11th, 2020.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, we do have a item under, well, we have a proclamation under awards, presentations, and recognitions, and February is always Black History Month, and each February we join our diverse community to celebrate Black History Month and highlight the lasting contributions and positive influence Black Americans have had in our Central Florida community. And this year's theme celebrates the diversity of African American families as a core part of American society and honors the persistent fight to achieve equity for Black and multicultural communities. And we continue to have to think outside of the box on how we do things in this COVID world. So this year, our Black History Month Committee will work towards this goal by offering a series of dynamic virtual workshops, panel discussions, and more. You can visit orlando.gov/BHM to learn about and register for those activities. And I want to acknowledge specifically the hard work and dedication of our city's Black History Month Steering Committee, who has organized a lot of events through the month of February to show our city's continued commitment to diversity, inclusion, and equity. So I have a proclamation that's signed by all 6 of our city commissioners as well as myself. Whereas Black History Month is an integral part of American history because African Americans played an essential role in building and shaping the United States, and whereas Black History Month is celebrated each February and originated by the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, founded in 1915 by Carter G. Woodson, an African American historian, author, and journalist, and whereas during Black History Month we recognize the extraordinary achievements and acknowledge the many contributions African Americans have made in our nation, our state, and our city. And whereas the story of African Americans is a story of resilience, perseverance, and achievement. And whereas the City of Orlando's 2021 Black History Month theme celebrates the diversity of African American families as a core part of American society. And whereas celebrating Black History Month, the City of Orlando acknowledges that the struggle for equity for African Americans continues, and whereas a community, we commit to continue the work to ensure that all residents are treated equally, are equally protected, and have equitable access to opportunity, and that Orlando remains an inclusive, welcoming city for all. Now, therefore, we, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, and Commissioners Gray, Ortiz, Stewart, Sheehan, Hill, and Burns hereby do proclaim February 2021 as Black History Month in the City of Orlando. So that's a nice segue right into the mayor's update, and I just have a couple of things. And the council did want to share our condolences, Commissioner Burns, on the passing of your father, William Freeman Burns Jr., and I know this is a difficult time for you, so our thoughts and prayers are with you. On a happier note, your birthday is coming up on Saturday, and we have a little tradition of singing happy birthday to our commissioners, so maybe we can do something a little more positive. So, yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Commissioner Burns. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Commissioners.
Okay. COVID continues to impact our community, even as we see the distribution of vaccines. So you need to continue to practice your pandemic precautions, wearing a mask, social distancing. But don't focus on what you can't do. I think we ought to be focusing on what we can do safely, and there's lots of great things. You can meet with family and friends at a distance, in your driveway, in your front yard, one of our city parks. There's a lot of outdoor dining opportunities. You can go for walks and bike rides, visit our city parks, and that's good not only for your physical health, but your mental health as well. You can come to city council meetings. That's always good for your mental health sometimes. But getting outside reduces the risk of spreading the virus, so we want to continue to protect our families and our friends and everybody here in Central Florida. Toward that end, I just have a couple items on the agenda, and that's items C 5 through 7 and CRA 1 through 4 as we continue to extend the length of programs. I don't think any of us thought last March we'd be talking about extending COVID relief programs for our businesses into the summertime of this year, but we are. So it continues to allow parklets in our on-street parking spaces, outdoor dining at areas like the Osceola Open Air Hospitality Zone, outdoor sales, seating, and marketing in private parking areas and public rights-of-way adjacent to businesses. Free parking validation through our Park DTO program, helping downtown food trucks operate through the downtown, and continuing to suspend the need to get any permits or pay any fees relating to that. Lastly, on the agenda, we talked about this at the agenda review meeting, and Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioner Stewart are bringing forward a civility resolution that we'll vote on as part of the consent agenda. And I like to think that this council sets a pretty good example for other bodies, not just the federal government and state government, but some other local governments. If you go on YouTube or some of the social media things and watch some of the other meetings that go on, it's not so stressful here as it is in a lot of other places. So I appreciate the congeniality and the civil discourse that we enjoy here at this council. And by adopting this resolution, we can set an example for other communities and allow Commissioner Ortiz, as president of the Florida League of Cities this year, to pursue one of his goals. So thank you on that. And with that, we'll move to the consent agenda, which is a number of items that are acted upon through a single vote of council. We give each of our commissioners an opportunity to comment on items on the consent agenda and update you on important happenings from their district. We rotate the order that we do that, and Commissioner Burns is first up today.
All right, thank you, Mayor. First, to start off, for the agenda, I'd like to express my support for the COVID relief measures that are in our agenda today, as well as my support for the civility resolution. And thank you to Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioner Stewart for bringing that to this body. Also, on Thursday, January 14th, I had the pleasure of touring District 6's newest family destination, Desertland. I believe, Mayor, you've had the opportunity to attend Desertland, and it occupies the old Festival Bay Mall on I-Drive and has a host of activities to offer for the family, including bowling, go-karts, pinball machines, and thousands of vehicles, including the cars from the Batman movies, Back to the Future, as well as the A-Team. And thanks to the team at Desertland for taking the time out to give myself and my staff a tour of this wonderful new facility. Also on January 14th, I had the opportunity to participate in the Florida League of Cities Florida Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials panel entitled Getting Moving on the Road to a Healthy Living in 2021. So thank you to Commissioner Ortiz for connecting me with this opportunity. On Friday, January 15th, I joined Lisa Rain from our Economic Development Department to pass out PPE to businesses in the district along I-Drive. We gave out over 2,000 masks, hand sanitizer, and COVID-19 posters. Thanks to Lisa, Sherry, and the EDV team for helping us to take care of the businesses in District 6. I would like to commend Marcia Hope Goodwin and her team for coordinating the events commemorating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I, along with my daughters, had the opportunity to attend the parade showcase at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center at the Front Yard Festival. It was a safe environment and very well done. So again, thank you to Marcia and her team and the team over at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center. For MLK Day, my office joined Green Up and Keep Orlando Beautiful for a day of service at the Smith Center and Prince Hall Boulevard. Collectively, we collected 71 bags of debris and trash, 4 abandoned tires, and 1 traffic sign weighing over 790 pounds altogether. Thanks to Sean Hips and Jody Bias for working with my office to make this a successful event, as well as each volunteer that came out to help. I would like to invite everyone out to the farmers market that takes place at Barker Park on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's interesting that Barker Park sits in District 6. However, the surrounding neighborhood is in District 5. So I thank Commissioner Hill for her support. When I came into office, there was a lot of complaints about this park, some of the noise and activities. So I'd just like to say again, thank you to Commissioner Hill for working with us in the Parks and Rec staff for the changes that were made to the operation of the park that has been well received by the residents. And in closing, as we continue to fight COVID-19 pandemic, I would like to announce that this Sunday, January 31st, at the Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church, COVID-19 vaccines will be administered to people over the age of 65. I believe we have the capacity of doing about 500 vaccines. So I would like to thank State Representative Geraldine Thompson and Travaris McCurdy for leading this initiative, and Pastor J. Roe Morrison for hosting this event. And that concludes my remarks, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to Commissioner Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. And issues related specifically to District 1 are on my website. A couple of quick announcements. First, Commissioner Burns, condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
And I know it's a tough time, so we're with you on that. Second thing is the expansion of Narcoossee Road is well underway, and I want to thank our public works folks as well as our transportation professionals for helping with the messaging and giving me some specific answers to get to neighbors. So as I've said, there's never a good time to do road construction, but it's a necessary evil as we expand. So thanks to them for doing that. And then finally, Mayor, I wanted to thank you and our staff, and if you would please share with the county, I've gotten some great responses from neighbors about the process of the vaccination process at the convention center. While it's a little bit troublesome to get an appointment, everyone that I've talked to said once they have an appointment, the process at the convention center is running smoothly, the staff's professional. So thanks to you and our team, and if you would, to Mayor Demings and his team. I think we're kind of a shining light compared to some of the other stories I'm hearing. So thank you for that.
And I'll just remind all the commissioners that when that portal is open for appointments, our senior centers are there to assist anybody that either doesn't have a computer or doesn't know how to access it or just generally needs some IT help.
Right, good point. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me start by expressing my deepest condolences to the commission, my colleagues, and Mr. Father. I know there's no words to fill that gap, but know that he found and you were part in our prayers. Continuing, I want to talk about the stability pledge. First of all, I want to commend my partner here, Commissioner Stewart, for taking the lead on this particular effort, representing us, and for all the help you're giving us in Florida League of Cities also with your leadership. Thank you so much. We do have quite a initiative going on, but it's going to take everybody on this one. On Tuesday, January 19th, my office and I joined the Dover Manor Homeowners Association for the annual meeting. I want to thank Dover Manor HOA President Eric Cooper for inviting us to be with them as they discuss their neighborhood plan for 2021. It's always great to get our plan for the district too. And then I would like to encourage everyone, and I mean everyone out there who's listening, and those who are not listening, or those that are listening, to let them know, to look at the Florida League of Cities legislative priorities for the year 2021. They're posted on www.buildingstrongercities.com. In our District 2,
Commissioner, we're not hearing anything except you.
Okay, all right, so I'll continue. So anyhow, it's important that we stay informed about these issues and reach out to our state senators and representatives. Each member of our community has a state representative and a state senator. It's only 2 phone calls. It takes less than 5 minutes to let them know that we want them to vote on those priorities that would benefit us, will benefit our community. You can do it either via an email, only 2 emails, is all it takes, a little bit of your time. If the whole state is done accordingly, we'll gain the power of government and influence back in our community. That's all we care about. So we need everybody's support, every commissioner, every mayor, to help us on this. We need to also reach out to the county and make sure that they're also doing their diligence in reference to this particular effort. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor, and share our condolences again, Bakari, with you and your entire family. A couple of things I'd like to share with you. The first is that we had a drive-through retirement party for Corporal Kirkpatrick. I want to say special thanks to Commissioner Sheehan, Commissioner Hill, and Commissioner Gray for stopping by, and the others for expressing your thanks to Kevlon. I appreciate that a great deal. He is retired after 23 years, 8 months or something like that. It was some kind of deal he cut with his mom. So I do love him, but I mean, he's going to drive me crazy. But thank you for letting us to allowing us just to honor him. I want to also welcome Officer Steve Smith. He's joined us from the as a liaison officer for District 3. He's already stepped in, doing a great job. Corporal Kirkpatrick trained him well, and I'm thrilled about his response has been so far, and so we're working well together. So Chief, thank you very much for your recommendation, and thank you for always supporting the district liaisons. It's an important thing for our community. I'm also glad to I'm also glad to say that Maya Jack, who helped out in our office, has got a on a part-time basis, has got a job now in City Permitting Division. So I have a new support staff, Amethyst Rodriguez. Amethyst, wave your hand real quick. So she's helping us out and assisting in the community and constituent outreach. So thank you very much. Mayor, let me say thank you to the MLK Mayor's Commission for the work that y'all did. Thank you for your leadership. And I had a chance to steal away Brandy Hand for a few minutes, a couple, I guess probably 10 days ago. And just thank her personally for the work that she has done. I had a chance to attend, well, almost everything that I could. If I couldn't, I did it virtually. But it just was very well done. And in this age, I think we, as the new word now is pivoted, I think we pivoted very well. So I appreciate that a great deal. So thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, and thank you to the entire commission. And when life gets a little bit easier, maybe we'll invite them again like we always do to get a photograph of everybody. Some upcoming events real quickly. The Lou Gardens is a great place to go. The mayor mentioned about getting out. Lou Gardens is a great place to go because we just started our new dinosaurs exhibit that will go through for a couple of months. And get a chance to, it's coming back. It's different dinosaurs than it was last time, but it's a great way to take the kids to learn about what dinosaurs as well as to see the garden. So I appreciate Robert Bowden and the work that he's done. Only along with the dinosaur nights, you can see the dinosaurs on the evening of February 5th, or you can go over for a special Valentine's Day and walk around in dinosaurs on February 14th. You feel a little bit like you're in Jurassic Park, but that's okay. So you can go to lougardens.org for more information. And also had a chance to see the latest exhibit, the Manila Museum, last week, just opened up. It's American Artists in the Southwest. It was made up of amazing paintings and drawings that were collected through Frank Holt and his partner. It has been a wonderful way for us to share the Manila as well as to share Frank. It's donated to us from the city to the city, and it'll be there, I guess, almost 3 months. You get a chance to go over. It is just wonderful stuff. Another example of another great asset in our community. On to the agenda. The commissioners, thank you very much about the civility resolution. I appreciate that. It is, as we have done in the past, we have often led the way in the state, and this is another example of doing the same thing. And we are reinforcing the things that we normally do and asking others to follow our lead. Special shout out to Commissioner Ortiz. I hope that he takes an opportunity, and I know that he will, to share this with other cities, because I think that if we can kind of build this from the ground up, as Commissioner Ortiz will tell you, building stronger cities builds a stronger state. And I'm so thrilled about that. So thank you very much, Commissioner Ortiz, and let me know again how I can help. Along the same lines, let me share one thing. You're going to hear a lot about what's going on with the legislature in the next 6 months, especially as Tony completes his tenure as president. But I want to share one bill with you as an example that is coming up on the doorsteps. It's being heard, I think, by the Senate Commerce Committee about 2:30 today, and it's a bill, Senate Bill 50. I've called it the Small Business Protection Act, and basically it's an opportunity that anybody who does business in the state of Florida must pay sales tax. Now today, currently the bill that's out there requires that if you have a location in the state of Florida, but we still have people that are shipping into the state of Florida and not paying sales tax. So when you go back and look at this and you say that real fast, it's kind of okay. But what it means is that people are buying things online and because they're trying to avoid 6 or 7% of the cost to their next door neighbor or to their small business. So really it's a chance to protect our small businesses and put them on an equal playing field. To give you an idea of that, if it passes, we expect to be able to bring in about $794 million into the state of Florida. It's that big of a deal. And so we are really pushing hard to get the legislature to understand this is not a new tax. This is an existing tax that just needs to be applied to everybody who's doing business in the state. So that's being heard. We finally got some people that will support us, and that's just one of those small bills that has a lot of impact on the city of Orlando. So also, Commissioner Ortiz will share with you, and I'll send you all a link. There's a text link that I can send you about home rule. You can put it on your phone, you set a link to it, it will send you back some information, and it will then guide you as to the information you're interested in, and will send you bills directly, send you information directly to your phone about bills that are coming up. So we're going to encourage that we do, all legislative, city legislators do that, but we're also encouraging all of our, to pass that on to our citizens as well. So I'll send that information out to you, Commissioner Ortiz. That's one of his initiatives, and sorry to take your thunder, Tony, but it's a great, great idea, and I want to make sure we share it with everybody. The second part about the civility resolution, I want to just say on the record a special thanks to Senator Bud Gardner, Representative Bobby Hartnett, Senator John Mills, and Senator George Stewart Jr. This is a group that put together this idea after spending time together for a long time, and somebody said, you know what, we ought to just tell people how we used to do business. And that came up with this resolution. And I'm so grateful for them contacting me and contacting Commissioner Ortiz and moving this forward. And Mayor, thank you for your leadership as well. The last thing I'd like to share is our appointments. I get an opportunity often to talk about the role of cities and the role that people play, our citizens play in cities. And that is the most evident when we have our committees and we appoint people as volunteers to very important committees. So I would just mention and say a thank you to 4 of our District 3 citizens, Jerry Springhart and Louis Van Alsine, who are on the, who have been appointed today to the Building and Fire Codes Board of Appeals, Stephanie Martin, who will go on to the Manello Board of Trustees, and then Patrick Panza, who will be on the Appearance Review. All those are out of District 3. We have more in other areas, but I'm going to pick on District 3 and tell them a special thank you, because citizens run cities. And this is one of the ways that they do that. I know I've taken a lot of time today, Mayor. Thank you for your indulgence. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate being able to participate virtually because I'm too young to get a shot, but so thank you very much for.
Hold on, Commissioner. Commissioner Sheehan, hold on one sec. Can we
Am I
correct that
back?
echo?
You got back feeding on it?
Got echo, Coco.
Echo, not so much
Okay.
backbeating, but you didn't have before.
Is it better yet? Is it
That's
better
better.
now? Okay, cool. Well, I'll start over again, Mayor Dyer. Thank you. I want to thank you for allowing me to participate virtually because I am too young to get a shot and too old to take a risk. So appreciate that very much. I think Commissioner Ortiz and I kind of fall in that category. So I know some of the commissioners have gotten their shots, but again, we're trying to do whatever we can to stay safe. And I'm telling my residents of my district as well who have been participating in most of their meetings virtually. Again, it's all about safety and making sure that we get through this COVID, situation, the horrible pandemic together. And Mayor Dyer, I also want to thank you for your leadership on trying to get vaccines to the city. A lot of our residents are asking why we don't have vaccination facilities in the city. It's because they're only going to the county. And Mayor Dyer, I want to say thank you for trying to bring those to the city where our seniors can have easier access, because it's hard for some of them to get to the convention center. My mother's elderly. Sometimes it's very difficult for them to stay in the car for over an hour. It's just hard for them. So again, thank you for that. And Commissioner Burns, again, just condolences on the loss of your dad. I know how hard it is to go through something like this, but you really have the support of all your colleagues and friends here on the City Council. And something that's kind of not on the agenda, but I really wanted to thank staff for is the new enhanced crosswalks, the lime green crosswalks, really look great. I mean, as someone who walks 4 to 7 miles every single day for my own health and mental health, especially lately, they really help out a lot, and it really helps with the visibility. I know that I've noticed that motorists are stopping more often at the crosswalk. So thank you very much for the transportation staff for working very, very hard on that. I want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues on the civility in the political arena. Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioner Stewart, that's very, very important. And Mayor, we've talked a lot today about how we all get along, but it's not, we have conflict. Believe it or not, the only person on this board that I've never had conflict with is Commissioner Burns, because we haven't had an issue come up yet. But, pretty much we all have issues from time to time. But the difference is we resolve it not in public. We don't try to embarrass each other. We resolve it in a very amicable and peaceful way. And sometimes you just got to take a deep breath and not try to use the media to make someone else look bad, to make yourself look good. Because if you're doing that, you're not doing the right thing. The best way to make yourself look good is to work hard, not to put someone else down, and not to call them names. I've been called a socialist, a feminazi, all kinds of awful things that I cannot say right now. But again, the name calling and the nonsense, it's just really, really inappropriate. And we don't need to be calling each other names. We need to be figuring out ways to do good work on behalf of our constituents. And that will get you the best press, folks, not this nonsense that's been happening at the national level that's really harmed our community. And we need to move forward in a more positive way. So thank you to my colleagues for bringing this up. This is the proper way to conduct oneself in public life. On the agenda today, item A7, I am delighted to see the Urban Trail Gap Extension construction commence. People have brought this to my attention that we have a lot of trails, but they don't all connect. So, sometimes when we have a project coming through, we need to make sure that we build the trails when we have the opportunity and then work on that connectivity later. And this is really part of that through downtown. So I'm thrilled to see this happening as someone who walks a lot and maybe even be able to ride my bike to City Hall eventually if we can get those gap extensions filled in. So I think this is just great. Again, health and wellness is a really, really important part of creating a healthy city. So this is just perfect. I also love extending the temporary signage, use of the parklets, the cul-de-sacs, being really creative in terms of ways to let businesses use their parking lots, especially the restaurants, for additional seating. We've had to do what we can during this COVID pandemic to try to help small businesses, and I'm glad to see that we're extending all that. And last but not least, I would like to congratulate the Tampa Bay Bucks. I know a lot of my friends here in Orlando are Tampa Bay Bucks fans, and I'm a friend of Mayor Jane Castor on Facebook, and I saw the reaction in Tampa Bay. How fun was that? The whole city was beeping, and everybody was happy. And congratulations to one of our sister cities, Tampa Bay, on hosting the Super Bowl and being in the Super Bowl for the first time. So I think that's just great. And that's all I had, Mayor Dyer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. We're a little jealous of the Tampa Bay area. They were in the World Series, the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cups. They've had a pretty
Yeah,
good sports year.
They got it all, didn't they?
They've won it before.
Yeah,
Have
but
they had all this many, though?
Yeah, but this is
Oh,
the first
wow.
time that the host city is also the same city as one of the teams that are playing.
I would check your history on that, Commissioner.
no, they won the Gruden Bowl. Gruden
Okay.
left
Yeah.
the Raiders and
With
came to the
Doug
Bucks
Williams.
and then played the Raiders in the Super Bowl and beat them.
I'll bet you lunch.
2002. Okay, Commissioner Hill?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and of course, Commissioner Burns, my deepest and sincere condolences on the loss of your father. And your fortitude, I unfortunately had to sit in your seat and bury an immediate loved one on Saturday and be back on the wall to work for the people on Monday. So I embrace you, as Commissioner stated, and everyone here. You have our support. And I can tell you, it's not just words. This staff and this city and this council has supported me and undergirded me in some of my toughest times. So we're here for you. I'm also want to congratulate Commissioner Stewart and Commissioner Ortiz on putting forth this resolution of civility here in the city of Orlando. And I don't have to continue. The mayor stated it all when he says that this council put people over politics. And we try to make sure we do what we can for the greater good. And we have been a city that I think that sits on the hill, that shine light in dark places. And I know usually when we lead, they follow. So thank you all for your leadership. Commissioner Ortiz, I want to especially say thank you as the president of the Florida League of Cities and pushing this forward. And I have looked at some of your plans for the National League, speaking that into your life, next president, National League of Cities. But the Florida League of Cities, when I saw what your priorities are, and we got an email from the Florida Black locally elected officials, and saw that you were going to be the guest speaker, and one of your major focuses and agendas was affordable housing. And I just want to say thank you, Commissioner Ortiz, for making that one of your major focuses. And if there's anything I can do in this council can do to support you in those efforts, because we know we're doing a fabulous job here in the city of Orlando, Mayor, when it comes to affordable housing. But to have a leader on this dais to be able to push that forward throughout the state is a gift in its own. So thank you, Commissioner Ortiz, for that, following what we're doing here in the city. Chief Barksdale, I'd like to thank you and the men and women of Orlando Fire Department. There in Paramore this weekend, we had I think it was a gas leak or carbon dioxide, one of those two, but unfortunately, we lost an individual and one had to be transported to the hospital. But I do believe if it had not been for the men and women of OFD, we would have lost more. By your expediency to get there and evacuate that building, we were able to save the lives of some of our most vulnerable citizens here in the city of Orlando, which is our seniors. So I applaud you all for your efforts and the lives that you're able to save and for your leadership, sir. So thank you so very much. Congratulations, of course. I know we're talking about civility, and hopefully I don't upset anyone with this comment, but I do like to congratulate our new President, Joe Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris. In honor of that historic and monumentous occasion, myself, along with Madam Clerk Tiffany Russell Moore, Commissioner Patty Sheehan, Sonia Hill, Tanika Banco, Kelly Cohen, Nancy Schwab, Wendy Connors, and Onyx Magazine, along with the National Panathletic Council, sororities, and many everyday women throughout Orlando. We came together to celebrate the first woman president, not the first black female president or the first HBCU vice president, but the first female. And what that was, we stood on City Hall steps to talk about what we're talking about today, is equality and equity for women. So I congratulate and I don my pearls in honor of her today, our first female vice president. And on Tuesday, January the 12th at 5 p.m., along with Valencia Community College and our accelerated training program, we did a virtual informative outreach in conjunction with the City of Orlando's Blueprint 2.0. It was well attended, and hopefully we had many that graduated. And on that Wednesday, January the 13th, Mayor Dyer, Mayor Demmons, and myself hosted a graduation there at the Northwest Center, where we were able to graduate 48 students from our CARES Act Blueprint program, which those 48 students was immediately impacted in some type of way by COVID, whether it was furlough, loss of jobs, or less hours on their jobs, to where they were able to get transferable skill sets that pay high wages. And so we had partners such as the Urban League, a Global One, of course, Valencia Community College, Southern Institute, in which many of those students graduated with the CompTIA A+ certificate, a low voltage cabling certificate, the home health aid certificate, also the CNA certificate, fiber optics, and Microsoft Office. So I just congratulate those students that were able to achieve that, even during some of the roughest times that we've seen here in America in the last 100 years. In addition to that, we had 26 that participated virtually through the Blueprint and Valencia partnership. And myself and Mayor Dyer were able to visit a small group of those students that graduated from their Megatronics program, their warehouse technician. And it was some great testimonials that came out of those students' journey, where many of them had left a low-wage job. I think I recall one young lady was working at one of the convenience stores over in the Rosemont area, making $9 an hour, and has graduated there in the Megatronics program, and now she's making 3 times what she made there at the convenience store. I think she said some number like $28 an hour. And that was from a 16-week program. So these are some of the things that we're doing here in the city of Orlando with the partnership, and thank Chris and the accounting team and Gennaro Coulter with the Blueprint program for allowing us to receive these funds. And actually, we didn't get the funds on top, everyone. We had to put city monies there to actually incorporate this program and meet the expectations of the county before we could be reimbursed. So thank you, council, and thank you, Mayor Dyer, for taking the chance on these very vulnerable employees that now have another chance getting off some type of subsidy programs. On Thursday, January the 14th at 1 p.m., along with Onyx Magazine, hosted a virtual town hall. We had about 100 participants, and we discussed the importance of being vaccinated in the forthcoming months and days. We knew that there was some angst and anxiety in our urban core, more so in our Hispanic and Black communities, about the injections and taking it. So we had specialists and those that were doctors and scientists that could explain better to our community what the COVID vaccine consists of in the numbers. So hopefully that was something to help with the outreach that all of us are doing throughout the county and here at the city about educating those in our most vulnerable communities about the COVID vaccine. And thank you also, I would say, CEO Bakari Burns of the Orange Blossom Health Center, by your advocacy on trying to make sure that vaccines are provided and information there on the west side of Orlando, where your clinics are here in the city of Orlando. Again, I was fortunate and just glad to be able to participate with Corporal Kevlon Kilpatrick's celebration of his retirement. And I got him a card, and the card read, I can't do it verbatim, but it was saying if you, on Monday, when you reach retirement, set your clock as if you were getting ready to go to work. And when the alarm goes off, answer it and go back to sleep because you're in retirement. So thank him for his services. It was well attended. The love that I viewed for him, not just from staff and his comrades there at OPD, Chief. Thank you also for the leadership. And I know you and Kevlon been right there coming through the ranks together. But from the community, it was almost like he was a College Park kid. You know, growing up there, that community just loved some Officer Kilpatrick. You could see the lines of people just coming by, blowing the horn, and of all generations, not just seniors, but all the way to the kids that he taught there at Edgewater High School as a resource officer. And hopefully when it's my time to retire or go, that I'll be received with that type of affection and love. On Friday, January the 15th, I wasn't able to attend, but I did watch all of these things virtually. I wasn't feeling so well, so I stayed in. It was freezing, but thanks to Brandy and Marcia and everyone on the mayor's MLK committee, they have done an outstanding job. And as Mayor Dyer stated, having to transition into the virtual world, it was done in excellence. And I really enjoyed each moment of it. On Wednesday, January the 27th, there was one more thing I did want to mention. Saturday, Chief Rallone, I was able to attend the first outreach in the Mercy Drive corridor of your initiative, in the City of Orlando's initiative that you have put forth from OPD with Dr. Randy Nelson on building that gap of law enforcement and trust in the community. And we had our first section there in the Mercy Drive community. Probably about 20 kids showed up, and due to COVID, we wanted to keep the spaces small. And they were really engaged. They had a lot of fun. You chose a great person to spearhead that initiative with Dr. Nelson. He got into the grunt and groove of things and made it fun for the kids. And they also earned, I think that was really rewarding for them, for each comment and answer that they gave correct. They were able to receive a small stipend of $5. But it was fun. I'd like to thank our new Equity and Inclusion Officer, Mayor. What a great appointment. I saw her live in person doing the work. Mrs. Merchion Green. She was, right there, part of this conversation and this dialogue. She gravitated to the community and the kids, and you never would have known that she was a officer in the highest office here in the city of Orlando. She was relaxed, and she just jumped in. I see great things coming from that appointment, Mayor. And with that, I will move for this agenda to be approved. Thank you.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Burns.
Mayor Dyer, I apologize. I do want to say something that's very important and thank, because we don't work in silos, and I missed the last opportunity, and I want to do it at this time. So I'd like to thank Advent Health and Miss Beth Thibodeau, and I might Thibodeau, I think, is that the right way to pronounce it, Chris? Thibodeau. Yeah, Thibodeau. And Michelle McCrimmon for their efforts. Advent Health, because they've seen the great work that we're doing here at the City of Orlando with our Blueprint medical piece, that they donated $10,000 so that we can continue to train those to become medical assistants and CNAs and home health aides. And Michelle and Chris have been great stewards of some funding that we received here some years ago, Mayor, that we just kept there in a separate budget. And those $10,000 are going to go with the $20,000 we have. Is it 10 or 20? 20, I believe, Michelle, somewhere around there. So we have $30,000 now specifically geared towards training throughout the city, not District 5, throughout the city, from District 1 to District 6, for those to enter the medical assistant program in the patient care tech and CNA in collaboration with Southern Tech and also Valencia College. Those funds will be split up to go to those colleges to have scholarships. So I'd like to thank Advent Health for their participation and their trust and belief there. And we're looking for folks to match that. Thanks,
Okay,
Bob.
so we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Without objection, we're going to recess the city council meeting and we're going to convene the CRA. Thomas has already leapt to the podium there, so the first four items, you can describe them, but we just voted on them as part of the city council consent agenda as well, so you can go through them fairly quickly.
Certainly, and good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners, and thank you, Mayor. Item number one of the four is approving the Small Business Rental Assistance Program funding agreements. This is the second tranche that's come before you, the applications being processed by OEP. There are 21 applications, or 23 applications in this tranche, totaling just under $394,000, which added to the first tranche would take us to just about 48% of the available funding of $1.5 million. So staff is requesting CRA approval of funding agreements and hereto between the CRA and the businesses listed in your attached exhibit. Authorization for the chairman and the executive director to execute the funding agreements with those businesses.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Stewart. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Number two.
And again, as the mayor said, items 2, 3, and 4, commissioners, are simply extensions requiring no additional or no new funding. 2 is approving extension of the downtown park DTO, or parking validation program, which allows for free parking on-street parking as well as parking decks. Together, those items have been used more than 11,000 times, and we're seeking to extend the deadline for using those from February 1st to September 1st. Staff is requesting CRA approval of the extension of the downtown parking validation program through September 1st, 2021, or when the allocated funding is expended, whichever is sooner.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Stewart. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
3, likewise, is approving funding related to temporary parklet program and outdoor dining within the downtown CRA. This accompanies the consent agenda item that you've just approved, and we're looking to extend the funding with that through August 1st.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan,
Second.
second by Commissioner Stewart. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 4 is approving funding related to the downtown food truck locations of the mobile food vending program. The program was funded ending in January. The funding for the program ended January 22nd. So CRA is looking to continue to cover the program's the costs associated with that program through September 30th, and staff is requesting that the CRA approve continued expenditures and payment from the $26,000 in previously approved funds for costs related to that program through September 30th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Stewart. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Okay, our final two items, and thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, are approving Main Street funding agreements for the main streets in our district. Number 5 is approving the City District funding agreement, City District formerly known as Church Street District. And this agreement between the CRA and City District would allow for $50,000 in annual funding in 2 payments, one after the first and one after the third quarter. Quarterly reports that would show compliance with the benchmarks. Those benchmarks include maintaining office space within the district, as well as conducting special events and cleanup and beautification efforts within the district. So staff is requesting CRA approval of the funding agreement between the CRA and Church Street District, Inc. in the amount of $50,000 for the fiscal year 2020-2021, subject to review and approval of the City Attorney's Office, and authorizing the execution of the agreement by the Chair and the Executive Director.
Approved, but I have a question.
Second.
I say approved, but I do have a question.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Questions?
Did we make that addendum to make sure that it's not just Church Street, because we have a new Main Street in the district, and it's called Paramore Main Street? Is that Paramore Main Street inside of that? I hear Church Street, Inc., but I did ask previously about
Yes.
Paramore to be included in that.
Yes, Commissioner, legally and technically, it's still one district.
Okay,
But we have, as the Commissioner has requested, we have bifurcated the funding so that 50% of that goes west of I-4 within the Paramount District. Yes.
thank you, sir.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure.
Further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. And the last one, Thomas.
Thank you. And finally, number 6 is approving the Thornton Park District funding agreement. Again, same details as with the City District, $50,000 in annual funding in 2 payments after the first and third quarter reports. And staff is requesting approval today.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Hill. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and the motion carries. Further business, Thomas?
There's none. Thank you.
Then we will stand adjourned as the CRA. We will reconvene the City Council meeting. We'll move to hearings, ordinances on first reading. Madam Clerk, you're up.
Ordinance number 2021-6. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, vacating, closing, and abandoning Industrial Way between Diversified Way and North Orange Blossom Trail, comprised of 0.545 acres of land, more or less, providing for conditions of abandonment, providing for execution of affecting documents, severability, correction of scrivener's error, and an effective date.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Hill. Madam Clerk, is there any member of the public that would like to testify on this matter?
No, Mayor.
Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. And we'll move to hearings, ordinances on second reading. The first one was deleted and moved to a future meeting, so let's move to number 2.
Ordinance number 2021-5, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, rezoning certain land generally located north of East Colonial Drive, west of Altaloma Avenue, east of North Fern Creek Avenue, and south of Woodward Street, and comprised of 2.1 acres of land, more or less, from high-intensity mixed-use corridor district, with the traditional city and aircraft noise overlay districts in part, and low-intensity office with the traditional city colonial town special plan and aircraft noise overlay districts in part, to plan development with the colonial town special plan and aircraft noise overlay districts, providing a development plan and special land development regulations of the planned development district, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Madam Clerk, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak?
No, Mayor.
Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. That concludes the official agenda items for the Orlando City Council today. Ed, would you let me know when we're ready to proceed with general appearance?